Hello everyone, and thanks again for taking a moment with Mel. Today you are going to hear about one of my dreams. But first I'm going to start to tell you about something that I do every once in a while. Sometimes when I'm sitting in traffic, and sometimes depending on what I see on TV, and sometimes depending on situations that I'm talking about with my family, I hear about children struggling. I hear about adults struggling. And I don't know when I started doing it, but I start to think to myself, what was the dream that your parent had for you when they first saw you? When you first came out of the womb and your mom and your dad looked at you, what was that dream? Another thing that I think about sometimes is, what if when the person came out of the womb, there was no dream for them? What if they weren't wanted? I have a dream that every child will be wanted, that every child will be loved, that every child will be cared for, that every child will come to manifest what it is that our Creator God had in mind when He knit you together in your mother's womb. What we've been talking about recently, if you've been looking at some of my other posts, has to do with ACEs, which is Adverse Childhood Experiences. And if you didn't get a chance to look at them, you can go back and look at some of the other videos that we have. But a lot of people struggle with ACEs throughout their entire life because of things that happened when they were younger. So my dream is that we will be able to surround our children with love and care in a way that we get beyond some of these things that happened to them when they were younger, which more than likely were things that happened to us when we were younger. Sometimes we think that some of the things that our children are being exposed to are normal, and they're not. It's not normal for a 5-year-old to know all of the words to an explicit song. There was a time when we thought that children should be seen and not heard. And we had them in situations where they could see and they could hear, and they were absorbing everything that was around them. So in my dream world, we would create a cocoon of innocence around our children, because this is the thing. There's a saying, and I don't know who said it, but it's once you know, you cannot unknow. So as we are taking our little ones into rated R movies, and they're seeing violence, and they're seeing sex scenes, and they're seeing all of these things, that their little brains, with all of those neural networks and connections that are unfolding, they're seeing some of these things that they don't quite know what's going on, but they're internalizing it. So I have a dream that all children will be loved and cared for. I want that how we start, not necessarily to be how we end. If you are surrounded by love, if you had a great childhood, if you are able to live out what it is that God put you on this earth to do, wonderful, great. But if you are not, just remember, how you started is not how you have to end. Also, what you went through is not what your children have to go through, is not what your grandchildren have to go through. You also can have a legacy of hope, and you can create a brand new stream that your family can go through, and it can go into a lake, and it can go into an ocean. You can start a whole new energy for your entire family line with hope.